Hey guys, Brendan, by the way, that audio guide. Today we are going to be talking about EQ areas to think about with your acoustic guitar. This was recorded like I teach how to record an acoustic guitar, just with your mic at around the 12th fret and kind of looking at the hole. The first thing that you need to do before you jump into any kind of EQing is realize what role does this guitar play in your song. Is it more percussive? Is it more rhythmic? Is it the lead? Is it going to make your song fat and full, or is it more there for texture? So the first area I like to look at is the 70 to 150 hertz range. So let me just play the guitar here so you can hear that. That is more of that low end of your acoustic guitar, kind of the boom of the air hole and all those things combining. One of the first things I notice with almost every acoustic guitar I've ever recorded is this area doesn't contain much information in the sense of adding something significant to your song. So if you're doing a song that's just finger picking or just guitar and vocal or even just guitar, maybe you might just leave this alone. But this is somewhere that I personally wouldn't necessarily go to boost. This is somewhere I would more start cutting because, while it may sound cool to, blast and make your acoustic guitar sound all fat right here, it's actually going to muddy up your mix really fast. So what I suggest doing is doing a high pass or low cut and just chopping out all those frequencies that you don't need. Again, how does this acoustic guitar fit into your song? The next area is right above that, and that is about 150 to 300 hertz. Now this is where you get a lot more of that low-end information that you're more familiar with when you hear an acoustic guitar and hear its boominess. But if you're not careful, this area can kind of get a little bit out of hand and get muddy really fast. So this is what that area sounds like. So you can tell it gets really honky right here. So that may be an area that you might want to cut if your guitar is getting a little bit muddy on top of doing your high pass. The next area right above that is 350 to 700. This is a little bit more of your thickness and your boxiness. So if your guitar is really boomy and has a ton of low end information and a ton of high end like pick scrapes and all that, but it doesn't seem to have body and beef, that's where you're going to get it. 350 to 700. The next area is an area that you can use to your advantage so you can cut your guitar through the mix without having to boost the volume. This is the 700 to about 2K range. One thing to watch out for in this area is if you boost it too much, then it can start to kind of sound radio-esque and become really harsh and coney. So use this area with caution. Just make sure you're listening at low volume so you don't overdo it. And then the last area I like to look at with acoustic guitar is the 8 to 11K range. And this is usually where your air is or your pick sound. So if you want to accent those pick hits or cut them out, then start around the 8 to 11K depending on how you played and recorded it. So as with all EQ, I suggest cutting before you boost because you don't want to start creating more problems than you already have. If something is muddy, that could mean you need to cut out the mud rather than boost the highs. For example, if we want to brighten up this guitar, maybe we want to do something like this. See how when we cut those areas, all of a sudden the guitar seems brighter and a little bit more focused. So instead of reaching for a high shelf and boosting the highs to make it brighter, I cut out what I was hearing to be a little bit muddy, and all of a sudden it got a little bit tighter and now sounds brighter. Hopefully this helps give you a kickstart on where to start with your EQ on your acoustic guitar if you're a little bit lost, or when you throw it in your mix and it sounds muddy or too bright. These are some areas that can kind of give you a go-to. Remember to subscribe to the YouTube and subscribe to my email list where I will send you exclusive content that I only send to those members over there, and I will see you guys soon.